Let's take a look at standards here. One of the things we're supposed to do is explain what the ICC is. And so I've opened up the digital codes thing here. This is the ICC digital codes. And this is actually a repository for tons of different codes. It's hard to get codes sometimes. They cost a lot of money. They're published by organizations. And so to get the codes, usually your office will have copies of the codes and they keep them current and up to date. And codes are a great way to be able to shorthand a design. Instead of having to write everything in the code on your drawing, you can just write must comply with a certain section of a code. And so it's good to know how to read them, but more importantly, you have to know how to get them. And this is a digital source. California has a requirement that any any code requirements listed on their drawings have to be available publicly. So some of these codes are available publicly, and some of them you have to pay for. Let's see who does do. And look, here's some of there's International Building Code, International Residential Code, International Fire Code. And these international codes often are very similar to our local codes or our California codes. But for our purposes, they're very good to teach to because they're mostly available to us. Okay, who makes these codes? Okay, well, here's the International Code Council, and you can see there's just tons of people that publish to this group. And since there's tons of people that publish there, you can kind of bet that this is broad. It has a wide base. Many organizations use it. And let's take a look at some of these and see if they're well founded on their own. American Institute of Steel Construction. That's since 1921. I'm very familiar with that one because it was a code that I used a lot in my work, and so they're big dogs. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you get a little easier. Engineered Wood Association (APA). They're huge. They're super important. They are the last word in engineered wood products, and they do all types of things from grading lumber for use in construction to doing engineered wood products. And so they're very well founded. American Iron and Steel Institute, they're big dogs. I don't know about Pool Hot Tub Alliance. I haven't ever heard of them before, but ASHRAE is big. They are the number one code group for energy and energy calcs. And we know that they're really strong because they have government officials, they have manufacturers, they have um, code compliance, and they have users. All part of it making these codes to be as broad based as they can. National Sanitation Foundation. They're the people that do all the testing to make sure that products are safe for consuming. American Welding Society is here. So, and there's tons more publishers. So this looks like, I mean, if you just look at this, there's many more publishers. There's page 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and they cover lots of different things. So, this seems to be a pretty strong group because a wide net of stakeholders seem to work with them. The stakeholders have been around for a long time. It's not just to make money for the stakeholders. They're really concerned with things like safety and that. So that's why we might say that the ICC is a good, reliable source. Now let's take a look at one of the things that we can get from the ICC. This is Chapter 4 of the IRC, International Residential Code. This may not be the most current version, but you probably have to go to premium for that. But this is about, lo and behold, foundations. And this part that says application tells us what these foundations are about and what the exception is, kind of what requirements, and about drainage and soil tests and load bearing stuff. So this general part is what it's about. You might want to take a few minutes to read each of these and see if you can make a very short, solid description of what IRC Chapter 4 is about. You certainly need to use the word foundation in it. And here's our Chapter 5, which is about floors. Okay? Including attic spaces used to house mechanical, plumbing fixtures, and equipment. So you might want to understand what mechanical fixtures are and equipment, and some of the requirements there. So you can also go to the most current version. So there's a quick review of what you might do as you're looking at the standards. To find that your images might even be something like the IRC logo or something like that, or even the ICC digital code logo. All right, there you go. I look forward to seeing your good work on activity 2.1.2.